So we've just passed the 2-month mark in the new year. How are you keeping up with your New Year's resolutions? Having a problem keeping up the motivation? If you are, let me tell you about a little project that I did at the end of 2016. A 100-day project during which I did not eat cakes, biscuits, sweets or chocolate. It all began with the frustration that I had put on a bit of weight and my waistbands were a little bit snug. For my meals, I was eating sensibly enough, sensible portions, few carbs, lots of vegetables. The problem was the stuff I was eating between meals. This was either when I was out with friends, because I do like an afternoon tea, or even worse, when I was working from home. I would pop out to get some milk, and I would come back with a packet of biscuits, a bar of chocolate, and ice cream in the summer. Now, even though I did have a sweet tooth, most of the time I didn't even really want what I bought. It was just habit. So I decided to take it from that point of view, instead of it being about losing weight, which, let's face it, is a fairly depressing way to approach anything, and as we know, diets don't work long term anyway. I would look at how I could change a lifelong habit. This was sometime around October, and I decided that from that particular day to Christmas Eve was 100 days, and I would give myself that long to see if I could make a change to the habit, and more importantly, my mindset. Because 100 days felt doable, and it wasn't like I was saying, you're never going to be able to eat a cake ever again. So I got the calendar, fixed it on the fridge so I could tick the days off. I then added an incentive, a tangible way of measuring my progress, which didn't rely on measuring weight because that would take it back to being a diet. For each day I went without cakes, biscuits, sweets, chocolate, I put £1 in a jar. And by the end of the project, I had £100. Now, for the first few days, I hadn't decided what the money would go towards. A nice handbag. I do like a handbag. A rampage through Cassarts or Paper Chase, because I do like a bit of stationery. But then I was talking to a friend who was a great fan of day trips via Eurostar, starting out very early in the morning and spending the day in Paris or Lille, then taking the late train home. All the fun of going to the continent without any of the hassle of hotels and luggage. Now, I'd only been to Paris once when I was organising a conference. So I saw the inside of the venue and a few sights on the bus to and from the airport. Suddenly, it was just so obvious that my £100 would pay for my Eurostar ticket to go to Paris in April with my friend. Day by day, the calendar got ticked and the money grew. There was great delight as I changed £10 coins into a £10 note, then 2 tens for a 20. Finally, there was £100, which was converted into the Eurostar ticket, plus a little bit of walking around money. During this time, my sweet tooth all but disappeared, which just showed how much my sugar eating was down to habit rather than desire. And someone said to me the other day, what if I told you you could never eat chocolate or cake again? And I genuinely thought, you know what? That would be okay. So anyway, the process is simple. You set yourself a timeline, in this case, 100 days. You set yourself a measure, in my case, £1 in a jar every day I didn't have sugar. And you set yourself a reward, my trip to Paris. Then to change your mindset, you have to get the wording right in your mind so that you're motivated and positive towards your goal. For example, I can almost guarantee that I would have failed if I'd said, I am not going to eat sugar for 100 days. It would have left my mind open to thinking, A, I'm depriving myself, and B, on day 101, I will just eat my body weight in meringues. And I know this is true because I've done it before, the deprivation thing, not the meringues. So I changed my mindset to I am going to take 100 days to change a habit. Now, in retrospect, I actually see that a key to the whole exercise was that it gave me back choice. When I'm out with friends for a cup of tea, in those days when we could go out for cups of tea, I could choose whether to have cake, have something savoury, or have nothing at all, based on how I felt at that moment, rather than the knee-jerk reaction of, this is what I always do. So if you have a habit that you want to stop, adapt, or adopt, play with this framework and see if it can help you succeed.